calling you a radical. Wall mock, mall walkers, wall mockers versus internet shit talkers. And there's a price to pay for going along with the contemporaries and the lies, the Fukushima cover up. Go buy your uranium stock and get burned. Go buy your G stock and get burned. Go buy your SMR stock and get burned. Throw your money at this belt. There's a price to pay for the Fukushima cover up because the Fukushima, it's not a contemporary issue where it'll just go away. It's not a fad, you know. So you can keep playing pretend. Oh, like somebody comments on one of my sites about, well, Japan's refiring up their 50 nuclear. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's all American, these propagandists, PMs, and nothing but a United States, the 51st state, nuclear energy, puppet, nuclear energy island, just like Abiy was. You know, Nato Khan was the prime minister then. The United States, Obama forced him out. They're nuclear energy puppets. It's all propaganda. It's purely propaganda. They're not refiring up. The anti-nuclear community is paramount in Japan. Well, I never read that. Of course you never read it. It's the same with the anti-nuclear movement in China. It's gigantic. Nobody exposed the Fukushima disaster better than the Chinese activist community. What? There's an activist community there? Oh boy. They took to the streets. They protested. You know, China's whole big nuclear energy renaissance is purely bullshit. It's propaganda. They backed out post-Fukushima. Their people forced their hand. Now, in China, oh boy, look, the economics of it. China gets it. These generational fives that Westinghouse is putting on. I wouldn't be a Westinghouse executive in China. They're so pissed. They didn't work. They've been building. Remember, they were supposed to be on by 2010. It's 2020. They're still not on. The General 5 reactors didn't work. And then they're talking about their, EBR freaking reactor near Hong Kong. Well, you do know that it had some kind of disaster. That's an unarguable fact. How do we know that? Because it's international law. Nobody knows international nuclear law like that much. Nobody. This is international law, the accident community. If you have a nuclear accident, you have to send out what you call the downwinder letter to all downwind countries. Only if you know. You can't, if you're not positive, if it's iffy, you can't. Oh, they sent it. Jennifer Graham Home, the DOE, set on it. They had it. The Biden administration set on it. Didn't do anything there. Just like Obama, just like Trump. This trilogy, the Fukushima cover-up trilogy. So somebody leaked it out of all places at CNN at 12:44 a.m. in the morning. I wonder who that was. So the world got it. They're like, whoa, there's the letter. Fast breeder, little less. In the whole fairy tale on SMRs is going to save the world. SMRs, all they are is condensed small version of a big reactor. They still used enriched uranium. Uranium's not from the earth. Well, 238 is, but that's not what we use in a nuclear energy reactor. That's not what we use in a nuclear energy reactor. That's not what we use. We use uranium-235, which is a man-made maintenance, which centrifuge process, hex gas it, spin it, collide it, create all kinds of elements, including plutonium, the heavy metals. So in China, post-Fukushima, they backed out. They kept trying to dance around it. We're going to re-get the program going 2018. They pivoted. They're like, all these reactors, they're so-called nuclear energy. They're like, no. Why? I'll tell you straight up. One word. Fukushima. So, well, the economics of it all. Westinghouse went bankrupt, took Toshiba down with them. What? Well, Toshiba's still trading. Yeah, the World Bank bailed Toshiba out, one of the oldest companies in the world. Huh. Yeah, Westinghouse, they're not publicly traded, are they? Well, they've been bankrupt so many times. They went to Bain Capital. What? The real estate company? They went into receivership, Bain Capital, and they got bought by, the Manhattan real estate company. Why would they? The subsidies, they know about the Fed subsidies, the state subsidies, where all the money's at. Pork, 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 pork. Like bankers. Bankers have gone in. They know they can do whatever they want with their money. There's no repercussions because no bankster will ever go to prison. And they know it. They can do whatever they want. And the government and the Fed will always bail them out. Same with the dairy industry. Become a freaking mega dairy farmer. There's no cost for a product you're just going to dump. They know it's 100% Fed funding. So, in Minnesota. So, this is the headline of USA Today. Now, why would USA Today be reporting this? So, they waited in Minnesota. Now, the post ignorance, as we call it, I invented the post ignorance project, asymmetric to the manual. And we have what we call black and yellow and black Friday, where we protest at nuclear facilities. 2013, we protested. 2014, we protested at that reactor in Minnesota. It's on our list. We protested there. Diana went over there. Still, I mean, our group photographs to prove it. But so they discover a leak on November 22nd, 2022. They say they don't find the source of the leak until December 19th. Okay. Then they don't report it till mid-March of 20. Well, what? This is the NRC. So the NRC is now saying their detection devices at the facility are picking up more leaks. So they really haven't never discovered the leak. Radioactive water. Well, France just dumps theirs in the ocean, in the Mediterranean. So all these reactors flush every time there's a hurricane or a big event. They flush their pools. But this ain't Fukushima. Fukushima's 3-4 core meltdowns that dumped water into the Pacific Ocean. It never happened in the history of mankind. It's a whole nother level, which I named plutonium. So, can you believe the NRC? No, their track record is proven. As I call the NRC, the nuclear rallying cheerleaders. Let there be light. I call them the nuclear rallying cheerleaders. And I've gone at them harder than anyone. The only person on earth that ever confronted the head of the NRC, Alison McFarland, on Fukushima face to face is Kevin Glenn. I mean, they all know me personally. I'm the keynote speaker online and in all these events all over the country. They do them all online now. Post-COVID, before they had to face me, they could be 3 minutes on the clock, which is written into law. Somebody made a blog about, he goes and crash. I don't crash nothing. Public comment is a big part of our American fabric, which is written into law. They have to have hearings, and they have a clock, 3 minutes. And I've gotten good at it because I've been doing it for so many years. And I have a YouTube camera because, of course, I'm not going to get no media coverage. I'm way too hot to handle because the truth and the reality, no, they want the panty painters. They want the half-nukers. The ocean's a big place. It'll lose. Wasn't that Busby on RT? Oh, God, RT used to interview me all the time, and I'm like, no. I remember telling John Anthony Ferris when they were interviewing us during Mass March, I'm like, they give me the creeps, dude. They're pro-nukers. Look up McKill lesson on Remember the 5th of November. What? Where I stay at DuPont Circle? What? Beat to death. So that's the head RT. So he's the former toss provide state-run media. Well, you don't think the United States has state-run media? Then you know nothing about the Fukushima dynamic. Like here in Utah, Feel Good Fairy Tale. There's an 80-year-old, TikToker at Weber State. Hey, she calls her everybody around, and God bless her. I know her. I'm sitting 2 feet away from her as an interviewer. Everybody's piled on this regurgitation. Who cares? Like I said, more power to her, but that's newsworthy. Fox News will not report. Nobody will locally report anything nuclear here in the state of Utah. Then all of a sudden, 4,400 days later, nearly, this is on Fox News 13, Utah. Radioactive rice being turned into low-carbon plastic at Fukushima. What? It's pathetic. So the NRC And I could prove the corruption of the NRC. So the NRC, Trump points one of the first things these nuclear energy puppets do is point their puppet to the head of the NRC. So she, from Idaho National Lab, who used to work with Jose Reyes, the CEO of NuScale, worked together at Idaho National Lab. Okay? She's the one that approved NuScale's design and little reactor. Don't you think that's a little bit of a conflict? Now, NuScale's a sham. There is no SMRs. I mean, they're going to have 24 in Utah. Then they're going to have 12. Now they're talking 6 by 2019, by 2025. It's the same propaganda you hear on China. China's got about 50 reactors on, one a month starting in 2010. They want to put on a couple. You know, these generational 5 nightmares that were supposed to be done years ago, it's kind of like, yay, Georgia's firing up Vogtle. They're just doing the test fire. By the way, the most dangerous time of a reactor. That reactor is over 30 billion. It's billions and billions and billions over budget. Decades and decades behind schedule. How about the Savannah River Mox Fuel Tower to Battle in South Carolina? How many billions is that over budget? I mean, that literally bankrupted Areva and Chicago Bridge and Iron. Bankrupt. Remember when I had you short in Chicago Bridge and Iron? You don't listen to me. Son of Cassandra, you won't listen to me. You know? You will not listen to me. So nobody will, because they're caught up in contemporaryism. If you can't handle the truth, you don't want the truth. You know, you run along to propped up Rush Limbaugh light. So these vlogs and these YouTube that have been, I mean, I had a podcast when people didn't even know what a podcast was. I had 3 of them. Giant freaking people. They took me out. Of course they took me out. If you're contemporizing this sheep shit show, you know you're not have anything worth saying. Blah, 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 blah. All we hear is Radio Goo Goo, Radio Gaga. So, the NRC has a proven track record of as I call them, the pom-pom team. I call them the nuclear energy cheerleaders. To their face, they know it. They know it. You know, they're supposed to be our watchdog. That was part of the deal. I can prove it again. So everybody says, oh, we got a new reactor on 7 years ago. No, Watts Bar started to be built in the early 1970s. It took 44 years. And how many billions to build that thing? The head of the NRC at the time got caught, dead red, taking bribes from TVA Watts Bar. Got caught. Convicted. Felonies. Did you go to jail? I don't think so, but I do know one thing. He shows up in California on the California Public Utilities Commission. He's working for them. That's our group that exposed that. Sin enough free, sin enough free, sin enough free. Oh, where's the crafts? I found it. So, we exposed it. Now, you think about that corruption. This is your NRC, your nuclear rallying cheerleaders, as I call them. They have a proven track record, and then they wonder why people don't believe them. People show up to hearings with their hair on fire. Well, think about it. Think about it. They show up with their hair. I wonder why. You think they have a credibility issue? You think? And then they wonder why people don't. And this is incredible to me, this reactionary society that we live in. We've been trying at that reactor in Minnesota for decades. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. So everybody waits till it's too late. That's how this, they're going to wait till it's too late at Diablo Canyon. That's just an argument. You know, the only one that we didn't wait till it's too late, well, maybe we did, was San Onofre, because they had an accident on June 30th, 2012 that no one's reported. Kevin Blanchard's reported from the bone marrow transplant the top of LDS. You know, I'm the one that leaked all that out because those insiders in there, they were afraid of jail. I'm like, I'll do it. What are they going to do? Come and put cuffs on me in the bone marrow transplant center? I'm already in a prison cell. at the top of the bone marrow transplant, which I always said this place is way worse than. This is like being on death row in a prison for a crime you didn't commit, except one thing. Prison's got to have better food than this place. You know, it's horrible. You know, somebody asked me the other day, what do you think is the worst way to die? I says, AML, leukemia, cancer. They don't legally let you have the injection. They can just give them a shot. It takes time to die, and you know you're dying. It's horrible. Horrible. I've watched it so many times, I was almost there. You think you'd know it until... I don't even sleep drink this. I sleep with it. I was given 2 months to live in 2011, AML, leukemia. You know, radical. You know, I've had open heart surgery twice now. I've had emergency gallbladder surgery because, you know, lost my teeth, everything since 2011. I was in perfectly incredible good condition. My body's been ravished. I've been destroyed since 2011, like the Pacific Ocean. This reactionary society that we live in, we wait till it's too late. You know, we protested these reactors. I protested all these reactors for years and decades. Once you reactionary and it makes the headline of USA Today, it's too late. It's like the Big Z. I'm the guy that named it the Big Z. I've been protesting that reactor in Ukraine for decades. You know, it's a nightmare. How have I knocked out for the 7th time? It's a ticky. Oh. Now, and like they're going to tell you, if there is an accident there. Well, accidents. How do you even call them accidents? You know, so here we're going to bail out Diablo Canyon when we're producing 200% more solar a day in California than we can use. It's being blocked by lobbyists. I mean, again, it's the tail wagging the dog. The nuclear tail. There's been so many subsidies pour into nuclear energy via the Department of Energy for all these years that they become so big, their tentacles get so long because of the money. They get gargantuous, and they just grow and grow. Their tentacles move into academia. Their tentacles move into print media, into all media. And, you know, here's YouTube. If you're blabbing about something that doesn't matter, they're going to promote you. If you're going against them, I mean, you don't think good. Look, these nuclear reactors are not public utilities. They're privately owned. Look who owns them. Google? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Apple? Oh, yeah. These corporations invest. And they, you know, it's amazing. Of course, they're not going to promote you. Of course, they're going to go after you. You know? So to be contemporized in this society is such a grotesque failure in this react. When it comes to nuclear energy, once you react, it's too late. It's like Fukushima. We've been protesting Fukushima for decades. Fukushima had an accident in 1997. Look up the date. No, don't tell me it was March 11th. So everything's March 11th all the time. I mean, it's that time that shit happens. The Ides of March are upon us. So, can we believe what's going on? No, of course not. You know, people say, "Why are you talking more?" I did. You know, you're not paying attention. You're running along. You're over on Alex Jones' site buying your water filters and your bunkers. And so you know, Alex Jones used to have my tide pools on his sites. So did Jeff Renz. All over on his sites and right underneath my videos of the dead tide, doing all the dirty work on critical condition with no money, is links to buy supplements, to buy water filters, to buy all this survival stuff at markups of, I mean, they're marking it up 1,000% and selling. They're using me while I'm in critical condition. It's so sinful and disgraceful. They see that I had a GoFundMe page. Did they send me one dime? That's the beauty of I've been open on my GoFundMe page, you know, sitting right there because history can record every single person that's donated in this incredible, important cause. And how I've done this, and go through there and see if Jeff Rance or Alex Jones, but they sure use the shit out of my historic work. They made millions off those videos. You know, my tide pool work. Well, I'm in critical condition. It's outrageous. So we wait till it's too late. This reaction, this extreme radical weather that we have in Utah, I've never seen anything like it. We're 20 degrees below normal today, every day, for weeks at a time. It's unheard of. No spring forget spring. And it's been so hot and radical since, 2011 we flooded. And then the Great Salt Lake was a perfect one time. Just acute radical collapse. It's been so hot. This drought is epic. Again, started in 2011. Tide pools crash 2011. The whole pandemic. We can deny it all. The great coincidence here, the salmon ban. Everybody used to laugh at me on the salmon. We had record returns on the salmon. Still had third class on 2011, 2012, but still had they're trout or salmon. They go to the ocean. They live. I talk to people all the time. I didn't realize this. The fishermen, they don't realize that the salmon from Idaho, the salmon from Oregon, they live in the sea. Their home is the sea. What? Chinook salmon go to sea for 5 years. And everybody's laughing at me. We had record returns 2011, 2012. Go ask the Army Corps engineers. By the way, they pulled their live cam. Their live cam's been out for how long? Since 2016? I keep telling them. They classify cam. That's an unarguable fact. They classify me. Unclassified. The feds did. They did that in 20. I got classified in 2013. It was somebody from the Army Corps engineers leaked the link to me, and I posted it, and I put it out there. He says, everything you do is classified, non-classified. Let me show you. And he says, here's Kevin Blanche, this. They review it. Is it classified or non-classified? He sent me the link, a guy from the Army Corps engineers. I'm like, shh, anonymous. Just like I used to get all the emails out of Japan. The head of the Fukushima 50. Oh, no one's died. His mother contacted me before they blocked the emails from Japan. I used to get hundreds of emails a day from Japan. I used to get 1,000 emails a day during the Fukushima. While I was in the Beaumont, I was so sick, I couldn't even really handle it and police it. I was full on with him dying. People would beg me to do radio. I did radio shows all over. I was everywhere until I got cancer. And everybody's on me to do radio. I was too sick. I couldn't. As soon as I got out of the Beaumont trial, when I got a little bit healthy enough, I went to the Aaron Swartz trial. They give you 35 years for downloading a server non-violent. What? When Elizabeth Holmes gets 0 time for stealing $1 billion, and Sam I Am, they were on the campus at the same time. Sam I Am and crypto scam. What? Christian Holmes the fourth is her father. Enron? Did he go to jail? No. Did Elizabeth Holmes go to jail? No. After she's been convicted, go sell a pack of cigarettes, see what happens. Still $1 billion, and just, she's not in jail. What? She was found guilty over a year ago? Oh, she's had a couple children. You don't think that strategy has been used by people to stay out of prison? You don't think that strategy's been used before? So it's just same old, but this reactionary society. So, as I said, short all the nuclear stocks. There's a price to pay for the Fukushima cover-up. Denial is a death sentence. I have not been in denial about my health. It's been horrid, and I know it. Even we're up against this horrible medical system. Mike Lee kicked me out of Medicaid in 2015 when I was in a bone marrow transplant center. Why? It's like the caseworker come into I'm so out of it. I don't even remember. I'm dying. I've been telling them for 4 months. I'm shriveling up. I'm fading away. I'm dying. It's my heart valve. It's my heart valve. I knew it was. And they're like, no, it's not. This is their heart doctor, their cardiologist, who's scheduled to me to maintain my valve that they replaced, that they're billing me for, that they're scheduled to see to take care of me. I didn't freaking search him out. He searched me out. And they're like, no, your heart's fine. Your heart's fine. It was my valve. I was right the whole time. I was under 138 pounds. I don't know how I lived. I really don't. So the caseworker comes in and he says, How do you, I said, blah, blah, blah. How are you not on Medicaid? I says, you new to this state? This is Utah. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, these porkers who are really, these dairy farmers are corporate welfare queens. Big time. That's not possible, he says. I says, are you new to Utah? I says, why don't you go ask Mike Lee why I'm not on Medicaid? 2015, remember he sent all the money back? He just wiped out single males. I remember John Huntsman Jr., who was supposed to be on our team, he was going to save us. John Huntsman Sr., and then next thing you know, John Huntsman Jr. is Mike Lee's campaign man. What? You don't think it's a club? Left, right. Democrats, Republicans are imperialists. They're imperialists. They're absolute imperialists. So, look, you have these so-called swing voters. You have Murkowski. She's not running for 6 years. She has political cover. Susan Collins, these so-called moderates. Why don't you go to them and say, what do we need? Go to Mitt Romney and say, well, what do you need to get this through, that through, the other thing through? They don't. Because both parties are status quo. Doesn't matter. They're imperialists. What's her name from Arizona? She's going to run as independent. They're imperialists. Has Biden done anything? No, Biden's protected the status quo. So did Obama. Remember, he was the war. He ran on the anti-war vote. And all you guys that are all pro-Obama on the left, he had 60 Senate seats. 60. You heard me right. 60. He lost 12 Senate seats. He lost some ungodly amount of congressional seats. He was, up his down, but peace activist, he was harder on whistleblowers than anyone. Think about what he did in Afghanistan and Iraq. And he was supposed to be your anti-war guy. Oh boy. Whoa. So it's been nothing but status quo. Nothing but status quo. And, the nuclear industry is like the nuclear tail wagging the dog. That pork is floating for so long it's hot enough, the chickens are coming home to roost. So the pork in the big agriculture, dairy farm, something we don't know the toxic poison, 100% funded by you, the taxpayer, for a poison, just spraying Roundup all over. Nothing's changed. The banksters, no bankster's going to ever go to jail. The banksters are still looting and the Fed's still bailing them out. They do whatever they want. The nuclear energy crime syndicate, 80 years of just, look, they turned on the faucet on the Manhattan Project and they never turned it off. Kevin Lynch. Thus, I started the Post-Ignorance Project, counter the Manhattan Project. But we're few and there are many, and they have all the money. We have none. Oh, it's biblical. And I was right about everything. They're going to lie, they're going to lie, they're going to lie. They're going to push this energy in the Pacific Ocean, and they're going to genocide. They're going to break the chain. They're going to break the global economy. Fukushima we never had full Einstein, Albert Einstein. If this genie we ever do get a full core meltdown, if this genie gets out of the bottle, it's going to mutate every living organism on Earth, every piece of DNA. It's going to cause viruses. It's going to cause mutation. It's going to alter everything forever. Well, humans adapt. Albert Einstein. Yes, in 50 generations. Remember, he was banned from the Manhattan Project. He was a peace act, and he didn't ban nuclear energy. That's a lie. He surely didn't write that letter. Leo wrote that letter. Einstein said it was his greatest regret in his life was signing that letter. He was a hardcore, a hell of a way to boil water. Kevin Lynch, March 2011. Hell of a way to boil a planet. So it's unbelievable. So this money is flowed from the Department of Energy, which is the Department of Nuclearism. The original spokesman was Jeff Bezos' grandfather, Geist. Bezos was born in Los Angeles. And so the plan is free money. Price-Anderson, the Congressional Act that was passed, it's called the Immunity Act. So anything pro-nuclear, anything nuclear energy, you get the money out, you can rip it off, you can steal it, you can rob it, just like the banks, just like the dairy farmer. And the United States You can't sue them. You can't sue them. Just like the Mitchell Act on the salmon, which they switched it over to the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, economy. What a facade. What a facade. It's the ecology, stupid. So this whole economy, you seen the debt? The debt was $3 trillion. That's part of like it's 1999. We had surplus. It's approaching 32. It's out of control. What do they care if they go to 50 trillion, 100 trillion? They don't. They don't. You know, the bubble. Is the bubble catching up with us? The Ayn Rand Greenspan bubble? You know, is this selfishness? So I'm going to tag this the great selfishness plague of 2000 to 2023. Now, remember Ayn Rand? Greenspan was an Ayn Rand groupie. For real, the collective. And Ayn Rand was a science fiction writer from Russia. She had no economics background, no nothing. You know, shrugged my ass. She was on public assistance all the end of her life. You know, so public housing, all of it. She said that selfishness was the key to it all. You know, right here's Rand Paul, and he's named after her. Perfect, right? We go from Jim Bunny. Jim Bunny was the greatest. How great was Jim Bunny? He called this whole he went after Greenspan and the slash and the rate harder than anyone. He was a genius. He was the best. Remember, that's when the GOP used to be fiscally responsible. Now it's all lip service. Mike Lee supports more pork than anybody. The military freaking spending is out of control. They've never seen a military budget they didn't love. You know, debt. Never seen a nuclear energy pork bill they didn't love. They never seen a big agriculture pork bill they didn't love. They never seen bankster backdoor freaking ballot they didn't love. That's how Mike Lee became in the bank meltdown, because Bennett here was head of the banking committee. Yeah, Bennett. He's dead, by the way, now, but they forced him out in Utah. Remember, he started crying. Utah forced him out. And where did they find Mike Lee? There wasn't a vote. BYU law. And he runs his mouth rhetoric-wise about, it's like I asked him, he said, well, I just found out my dad's a down one. This is the same guy that was sneaking in nuclear waste into the energy solution. That's where I was at, protesting that when Fukushima happened. Well, people don't even know that's here. I saw some activists yesterday that work for good activists in Utah, the air activists. I'm like, you do know about, they didn't even know what energy solutions was. I'm like, really? Do you know they're putting in highly radioactive material there right now from San Onofre? It's not low level. We have state laws. You know, Governor Cox is the worst governor we ever had by far. He got caught recently bringing Europe's nuclear waste into southern Utah. That's right. Look it up. And I talked to him. He signed a contract with Bill Gates, of all people. Bill Gates is the most hated person in Utah. We had a trial in 2011 going after Bill Gates. He stole the operating system here. Worked perfect. Alan Ashton, Bruce Bastian was invented here. Get in the band. Here. WordPerfect had 99% of the market. That's here. Novell, here. I'll make it here. US Robotics, here. Palm Pilot on Balco. So, the most hated person in Utah, Bill Gates. He stole it. He never ran anything. And now Cox signs a deal with him. The Utah taxpayers are funding SMRs in Cameron, Wyoming, which don't exist. Just like, why are we the ones funding the SMRs in Idaho out of our bills? Your power bill. We've been doing it for 10 years. So the whole nuclear propaganda machine, there's a price to pay. You know, you can go buy your uranium stocks. You know, go to Vegas, play some Russian roulette. So you can go buy your SM. I remember everybody's giving me shit when I was saying short SMR at 15 when it bounced from 10 to 15 as IPO. It's at 8. It's $2. I mean, that's 20% under its IPO price. Unheard of, because the Feds support the IPO. They'll always support the IPO. And mall walkers versus internet shit talkers. Joe Rogan is nothing but wrestling ball light. These half nukers, Helen, oh God, Japanese are tidy people. They fixed it all by robot. Okay, okay. Chris Busby, he attacked. I mean, he went right after me in the boat market. I have the emails. Your song about me. Pacific Ocean's a big place. It'll do it on our RT. You show up on RT. I knew that. I'm like, I told John, don't even do interviews with those guys. You know, and they would always, never really rushing. And I'm like, don't go near them. You know, I warned everybody. And I knew. Oh, do I know? I've been at the Peace Vigil since 78, 79. You know, we get all the good shit there. Across from the White House. Arnie Gundershield. He goes on TV. Arnie called it a hydrogen blast for 7 years. I had to kick him off my YouTube site because he was arguing with me and leaving comments. I'm not going to listen to them. I'm not going to give them any space because it's so ridiculous, you know. But I've come around to the point now that I'm like, let these monsters air their ignorance in public. Let Oliver Stone air his ignorance. You know, he can make Natural Born Killers, the sequel. You know, uranium's under our feet. It's natural. That's what they all say. I'm like, no, 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 no. Just ask them. Just ask them. All these pro-nukers. I ask them all the time. Just ask them. No, that's not what's in a nuclear energy reactor. We don't use uranium-238. That's natural from the earth. We use uranium-235. How do we enrich it and how do we make uranium-235? How do we get it? They don't even talk about that process because they don't even know. It's complicated. Well, it's not that complicated. They spin it, they hex gas it, they induce it. It leaves a 97% byproduct. It's the nastiest, filthiest, dirtiest thing. It makes coal look like sunshine and bananas. You know, potato chips. So they're propagandists because that's where the money is. The nuclear energy tail wagging the dog. That's where all the money's at. And academic professors, I'm proof. I used to be the guy at Weber State. One of the number one school business in the United States. Clyde died. I was the guy. They totally blackballed me, went after me so viciously. I'm like, good, I'll be your worst nightmare. You know, what a feather. They blackballed Wamasaka. Why? They blackballed Wamake Brody? Why? How about, here's another one I don't talk enough about. How about Trevon Smith? Probably the best player in the history of Weber State football. Won't mention his name. Beat to death on 4th of July by cops in a jail cell. How about Walt Masaka, born and raised in Ogden, the greatest basketball player in Weber State history by far? Won't mention his name. How about Wamake Brody, professor at Weber State, the youngest in the school's history, the greatest historian, one of them. Well, maybe, I mean, all men know my history, my path. How come Weber State blackballs those kind of people? Yeah, that's a very good question, isn't it? Very good question. Well, I know why they blackballed Kevin Blanch, because it's built by the nuclear industry. GE and Waters Construction merged in 1975. Utah was, construction was the parent. That's how the D got built. And by the way, 24 years ago today, North Carolina State beat the University of Utah in the Purple Palace. And the next game, 2 days later, they beat the number 1 seed, South Virginia. But people forget they had to win the opening round in double overtime up there in Corvallis, Oregon. To who? Pepperdine. The Wave. Yeah, they used to have a great basketball program. You know, and then I think they won the next game on a buzzer beater. Round two. That was the second round of Weber State. The Waters curse. So I'll do more on this. So stay in tune. It's a long video, but you know, it's important. It's reactionary society. The nuclear energy tail wagging the dog. So stay in tune.